Well, hello everyone and welcome to another Group 1 Victorian horse racing preview, and today I'm previewing one out of 3 Group 1s that will be ran at the Caulfield Racecourse this Saturday, the 27th of February. Now in this video I'm looking at the Futurity Stakes, which is race 6 on the Caulfield meeting agenda this week, which is Blue Diamond Stakes Day. It'll be ran over 1400 metres and the time will be 4:05 PM. Now the field is made up of 11 horses, with most of them riding in the CF Orr Stakes just a couple of weeks ago at Caulfield, so I'm not going to waste any time. Let's get straight in to looking at this year's Futurity Stakes field. Number 1 on the field we have Boban, who came 6 out of the 18 horse field in the CF Orr Stakes a couple of weeks ago. A lot of people were putting him in their top 4 or 5 horses to finish in the CF Orr Stakes a couple of weeks ago. He's trained by Chris Waller and jockeyed by Glenn Schofield. He definitely has the win range. He actually had a 98-day spell before the Orr Stakes, and before then he actually came 8th, 6th, 9th and 4th in his last 4 races. Now a lot of people might think that this horse is maybe a chance to get up. It is a slight chance. It's definitely not one of those horses you'd rule out, but I'm not putting it in my top 5. I just think the form of the horse is nowhere near as good for me, but I'm not going to rule it out. Number 2 in the field we have Rebel Dane, who is coming out of barrier 8, and this was a horse that I put in my top 3 of the CF Orr Stakes a couple of weeks ago. If you watched that preview, you will remember that. Came 5th in the Orr Stakes in the end out of 18 horses, which is not too bad, I guess. I was a bit disappointed actually. I thought it'd do a bit better considering the form, but 5th is not too bad. It's not a placing, but it's thereabouts at least. It had a 92-day spell before coming back to Moonee Valley, coming 3rd out of the 12 horses. That was over 1200 metres, and then of course rode in the Orr Stakes a couple of weeks ago. It's not one I'm going to rule out. I did like this horse in the before the Orr Stakes when looking at the form guide, so I'm not going to rule it out. At number 3 in the field, he was the favourite to win the CF Orr Stakes a couple of weeks ago, and he is now the favourite to win this year's Futurity Stakes over 1400 metres. It is Turn Me Loose, the New Zealand horse, who is trained by Murray Baker. He's coming out of barrier 9, so the barrier will probably suit him. He came 4th in the Orr Stakes out of 18 horses, just couldn't get to Savato, Lucky Hustler and Huckleberry, who came 3rd. If he can, look, he's definitely one of the big chances to win this race, no doubt about it. And I think, well, you know, if he gets past, you know, horses like Huckleberry and Savato, then he'll probably win the race. Speaking of Huckleberry, he's 4th on this year's Futurity Stakes field. He's coming out of barrier 4, which is a much better barrier actually than what he was starting from in the CF Orr Stakes. That's in my opinion anyway. He came from barrier 18 and in the end came 3rd, and if he was probably coming from barrier 4, then I actually reckon he would have maybe beaten Savato and won the race. That's a big call, but that's just my opinion. But before then, and this is why I think he's a really good chance to win the race, and why this barrier really suits him, because looking at the form guide here, he actually does really well from these type of barriers. I think the barrier really suits him more than the CF Orr Stakes did, so I'm thinking he's a really big chance to win the race. Number 5, we have Trust in a Gusts, who come 8th in the CF Orr Stakes a couple of weeks ago. Not someone I'm putting in my top 5, that's for sure. He's coming out of barrier 10. He is trained by Darren Weir, and yeah, he's going to have to produce something really good. I just don't like his form over the last couple of race meetings, so for me he's not in my top 5. He might be in yours though, but definitely the punters are saying that he's in with a little bit of a chance because he's backed at about $13, but for me I'm not going to I'm not going to put him in my top 5. Number 6, Stratosphere Star, one of the ones who does very well from barriers such as barrier 5, which is the one he's in. He's a bit like Huckleberry. He does well from these kind of barriers, and he's definitely got the win range to win this year's race. He's backed by the punters at $15. Like I said, coming out of barrier 5. He did come 7th in the Orr Stakes, but that was from barrier 14. So the barrier 5 might just suit him a bit better than what the Orr Stakes did. Number 7, Entirely Platinum, who was backed by the punters at $51. He did ride in the Orr Stakes, also come 15th out of the 18 horse field, so didn't do so well. And, well, before that he came 7th in the Caulfield Stakes, so look, there's nothing much really to say about this horse other than that he's coming out of barrier 7. And, well, James Winks, the jockey, has a lot of work to do to get this horse across the finish line, first place. Number 8, we have Scizor Kick, who didn't actually ride in the Orr Stakes a couple of weeks ago, so I think he's the first horse that I'm previewing in this video that didn't ride in the Orr Stakes. He's backed by the punters at $19. He's not really someone I'm putting in my top 5 just because of the form in the last 3 or so race meetings, and his last race meeting he come 12 out of the 16 horses. That was over a 1,300 journey, so that kind of puts me off a lot. He doesn't really have the win range either of 1,400, so that kind of puts me off as well. He's coming out of barrier 6. Craig Williams, though, that is probably the positive. He's being ridden by jockey Craig Williams, who is very experienced, and, well, I guess you never know. Number 9, we have the United States, who is backed by the punters at $34. He's coming out of barrier 11, and in his last run, which was the Melbourne Cup, can you believe it or not, that was his last run, the Melbourne Cup in last year's Melbourne Cup Carnival. Of course, the first Tuesday of November last year, the 3rd of November, that was the date. He came 14th out of the 24 horses, so didn't do so well in the Melbourne Cup, but obviously that was a different distance, so we're looking at a bit of a different distance, because obviously this is over 1,400 metres and that was over 3,200 metres. So he has got the win range, but the punters aren't backing him, and I'm not really backing him either just because of his form. Number 10, we have the CF Orr Stakes winner of a couple of weeks ago at Caulfield. That is Savato, who I probably overlooked a little bit in my CF Orr Stakes preview a couple of weeks ago. I think the thing that put me off was his spell. He had a 313-day spell, so that's probably put me off, as well as the 7th in the Doncaster, but he had a really good run before that, and well, he's probably back in that run at the moment. It'll be interesting to see how he goes in the Futurity Stakes. I reckon he's a good chance of taking the Futurity Stakes as well if he runs like he did in the Orr Stakes. So he definitely has the win range, as we know, because of course the Orr Stakes was over 1,400 metres. This is over 1,400 metres. He's as I look here, he's not going to be, he's going to be ridden by the same jockey actually, Luke Curry. So he's a very big chance. I think he's the second favourite to win. Turn Me Loose is the favourite. He's coming out of barrier 3, so he actually came out of barrier 1 in the Orr Stakes. So he's a very good chance of winning it. Number 11, the final horse of the field, is Politeness, who I actually really like the look of. His form doesn't look too bad leading into this race. He didn't run in the Orr Stakes, but he did run a couple of weeks ago. Well, actually on that same day, on that same Orr Stakes day, he actually came 2nd in one of the Group 2 races. Coming out of barrier 1, so the barrier does suit. He has the win range, as we know, although last start wasn't over that running distance. I'm probably going to put him in my top 5, or at least as a roughie, because I actually like the look of him. He's really, really good. Okay, so it's time now to have a look at my tips for this year's Futurity Stakes, which is ridden over 1,400 metres, as you know. And I'm going Huckleberry first because, well, the reason is because I like his barrier a lot better than the Orr Stakes. I reckon if he was in this barrier, like I said, he might have won that race. That's just my opinion. So I'm going to go Huckleberry first. I'm going to go the CF Orr Stakes winner as second, Savato. He'll put in a good performance, I reckon, and he'll come second. He'll go close to Huckleberry, I reckon. Wouldn't be surprised if he actually wins the race, Savato, because he showed he was in great form a couple of weeks ago in the Orr Stakes. And then third, I'm going to go the New Zealand horse, the favourite, Turn Me Loose. And then my roughies for the race, I'm going to go Politeness. As I said, I do like the look of this horse. I like the form. And yeah, I'm just going to go him as my roughie of the race. He's probably someone who is worth a look at, in my opinion. And then I'm also going to go Stratosphere Star, because I've actually found that he does a lot better at these distances and also from the barrier that he is at. So I'm going to go Stratosphere Star as another roughie to look at in the race. Okay, so that is it for this year's preview of the Futurity Stakes. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you would like to watch previews of the other 2 Group 1s that is coming up this Saturday, that's the Blue Diamond Stakes and the Oakley Plate, then the links will be in the description below and probably somewhere on the video. So do click on them and watch my previews of those races. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe to see all the other content I do on this channel. Until next time, bye for now.